In Alaska, where the cold could make even ice cubes feel insecure, two of the world's most eccentric leaders finally met, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Think of it like a high school reunion, except instead of a community hall, it was held at a US military base. And no danged it singers this time, only fighter jets and a red carpet. Just imagine, it was the first time in 10 years Putin set foot on American soil again. It felt like an ex showing up at your wedding, everyone turned their heads. Trump was quick to greet him, smiling ear to ear, though nobody could tell if it was genuine or just for the cameras. The meeting took place on Friday, August 15, 2025, local time. Not at the White House, not at Trump Tower, but in Alaska, a snowy land that once belonged to Russia before it was sold cheap to America. The topic, not small talk like, "Hey bro, how's it going?" but straight into the hot issue, possibly ending the Russia-Ukraine war that's been raging since February 24, 2022. Heavy stuff, but exactly what the world's been waiting for. Putin landed in Anchorage with his flashy Ilyushin Il-96-300, aka the Flying Kremlin. This wasn't just any plane, it's an upgraded relic of the late Soviet era, built to impress and intimidate. Trump, already waiting at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, rolled out the red carpet. Honor guards lined up like an Oscars red carpet, except this was the military edition. Both leaders walked side by side, looking composed on the outside but maybe nervous inside. Cameras flashed non-stop, especially when they struck a pose together. Suddenly, the Anchorage sky lit up. A B-2 Spirit bomber flew overhead, escorted by 4 F-22 Raptors. It looked like a Marvel movie trailer, epic, dramatic, and goosebump-inducing. That B-2 Spirit, shaped like a flat UFO, completely stole the show. It was America's subtle way of saying, "Welcome, bro, but remember, we've got toys like this." Putin, unbothered, surrounded by weapons of war is basically his day job. With his classic stone-cold poker face, he tilted his chin slightly, mafia boss style. Trump, on the other hand, looked thrilled, like a guy who just got a huge bonus. His wide grin almost screamed, "Perfect. This is content for my next campaign." After the photo op, they sat down for talks. The agenda, serious stuff, the Ukraine war, trade relations, and energy issues. It was basically like a coffee shop debate, except the future of the world was on the line. The meeting dragged on for hours, filled with hand gestures, occasional smirks, but an overall chill as cold as Alaska's air. When it was over, Putin prepared to return to Russia. But surprise, his plane was escorted by F-35 Lightning IIs, America's fifth-generation pride and joy. The Kremlin quickly posted a video from inside the Flying Kremlin. The footage showed the F-35 cruising smoothly beside Putin's plane. It looked like a high-budget military commercial. Russian media outlet TASS rushed to share it too, but fumbled big time. They misidentified the jets as F-22 Raptors. Aviation geeks online instantly roasted them. "Bruh, that's a Lightning II, not a Raptor." The irony. Those F-35s came from the very squadron usually tasked with intercepting Russian jets near Alaska. Normally adversaries, this time they played bodyguard. On the tail of the F-35, the letters, AK, were clearly visible. According to Theaviationist.com, that marked them as part of the 354th Fighter Wing out of Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska. So yeah, Putin basically got a VIP escort package, courtesy of his longtime rival. The internet exploded. Some saw it as a unique diplomatic gesture, others joked, "Wow, Putin just got himself a military Uber ride." Trump looked more than satisfied. In classic Trump style, he beamed, waved at the cameras, and soaked up the spotlight like a rock star leaving the stage. Putin stayed ice cold. His poker face didn't crack, though maybe in his head he was thinking, "Alright, they're flexing their toys. I'll show mine back in Moscow." International media ran wild. Some reported the geopolitics seriously, others had fun with memes about Putin and Trump in Alaska. Even a Panton-style rhyme went viral online. Flying high with coffee in hand. Alaska skies steal the show. Putin and Trump meet again. Will peace come, or just a no? But yeah, global politics really is like AK drama, full of plot twists, cliffhangers, and moments that make you want to scream at the screen. Alaska, normally quiet, suddenly became the world's hottest stage. And one thing's for sure, this moment will be remembered. Not just for the history books, but for the sheer Hollywood action vibes it brought. The million-dollar question now, will this meeting actually bring peace, or was it just another viral spectacle? The world's still waiting for the next episode. Whatever happens, one fact is clear, Alaska has officially become the center stage of global politics. From the Flying Kremlin to the B-2 Spirit, this was a show for the ages. Someday, people might even say, remember when Putin and Trump met in Alaska? This meeting wasn't just formalities. The world pinned its hopes on these two controversial leaders to finally shed some light on the Russia-Ukraine conflict that's already cost hundreds of thousands of lives. Trump, true to his blunt style, reportedly quipped, "This war needs to end before gas prices go any higher." A silly joke on the surface, but it struck deep on energy politics. Putin just smirked faintly. Whether it was a, "Yeah, bro," smile or a, "Wait and see," smile, no one could tell. His face stayed as frozen as an icebox. White House insiders said the talks were tough. Trump pushed for diplomacy, Putin stuck to Russia's hardline stance. Still, they managed to agree on something small, to form a shadow team that would keep in touch after the meeting. The internet immediately had a field day, dubbing it the Putin-Trump shadow team. Some edited movie posters, others turned it into an Avengers meme. Beyond the war, trade disputes also came up. Trump ranted about sanctions, Putin ranted about energy exports. Basically, both ranted, but it stayed civil. Alaska quietly listened. The snow, mountains, and even polar bears seemed to be eavesdropping. If they could talk, they'd probably say, "Dang, the world's serious right now." Meanwhile, media outlets around the globe fired off breaking news alerts, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, each competing for the flashiest headline. In Russia, state TV spun it differently, flaunting the footage of Putin's American fighter jet escort. Their narrative: "See, even our enemies have to show respect." In the US, Trump milked the moment. "I brought Putin to American soil. Who else could do that?" he bragged to reporters. Public opinion split right down the middle. Some praised Trump for pulling it off, others scoffed. Chill, meeting him doesn't mean peace is coming. Alaska suddenly trended worldwide. Usually famous for the northern lights and giant crabs, now it was ground zero for geopolitics. Anchorage hotels were packed to the brim, overflowing with diplomats, journalists, and political analysts. The normally quiet city turned into an international night market. Locals even whipped up makeshift banners. One read, "Welcome Putin and Trump, please don't start WW3 here." Funny, but also dead serious. Political analysts weighed in too. Some called it a turning point, while skeptics shrugged, just another power flex. Either way, it was historic. Some even said this was the coolest political scene since the Cold War ended. And to think, it all happened in Alaska, a land the US bought from Russia for just $7.2 million. Dirt cheap compared to today's geopolitical impact. History really does love irony. The land Russia once let go of became the backdrop for two global giants to test their egos. Trump with his iconic blonde hair, Putin with his ice-cold stare, two figures standing as the world held its breath. The big question lingers, will this actually end the war, or was it just more political theater for two spotlight-loving leaders? For now, the Alaska drama has no ending. The world is waiting for the next episode. In the end, the Alaska Showdown wasn't just another meeting. It was a full-blown spectacle. From the flying Kremlin's grand landing, to the B-2 Spirit Flex, to the F-35 inches VIP Uber escort, this story was juicier than a 700-episode soap opera. Think about it, Alaska, once sold off for peanuts, turned into the stage where two kings of politics sat face to face. That's history playing practical jokes. Putin and Trump, two men who thrive on headlines, met in a storm of symbolism. Trump with his salesman grin, Putin with his poker face. And behind every smirk or nod lay the fate of millions. The reflection is simple, the world is fragile. One signature could end a war, but one ego could make it worse. This meeting was a test drive. Can diplomacy still run, or is the engine dead? The internet laughed at Putin's free escort ride, photoshopped Trump and Putin into Mortal Kombat characters, but the tension beneath. Very real. And here's the kicker, we're just the audience. The world is their theater, they're the stars, and we're the ones munching popcorn. The only catch, if the ending sucks, that popcorn might actually blow up. The Alaska message was clear, no matter how bad the conflict, at some point humans have to sit down and talk. Around a table, not behind a trigger. Peace won't come tomorrow, and there will be more drama ahead. But even a baby step like this, wrapped in military showmanship and political smiles, is still better than silence and loaded guns. As the saying goes, better to argue over coffee than fight on a battlefield. And Alaska just became the world's priciest coffee shop, complete with fighter jets, red carpets, and two alpha leaders refusing to back down. History will ink this moment in bold. Someday, kids will read in textbooks, why did Putin and Trump meet in Alaska, not Washington or Moscow? The answer, because sometimes, history picks the strangest stages for the most serious stories. So whatever happens next, one lesson sticks, global politics isn't only about flexing power, it's about daring to talk, even if the talk is awkward, tense, and ice cold. And if this meeting didn't end the war, at least it gave the world a reason to hope. Because hope matters, bro. Without it, life's like an ice cream dropped in sand, bitter, sticky, and annoying. Bottom line, Alaska just gave us one epic show. Putin and Trump, two titans of politics, sat down together, flanked by fighter jets, watched by the entire world. Whether it leads to peace or just campaign material, the moment has already carved itself into history. And us? We're just waiting for the next chapter, praying the world picks peace, not war. Because if the wrong choice is made, it's not just them who'll burn, it's all of us.